Today's practice is about connecting to your core. And we all want to work on our core and get our stomachs flat. But in yoga, the idea is that you're always doing core. So hopefully some of the tools today will inform all of your yoga practices. But more important than that is that the core and the core work is really symbolic of connecting to the core of who you are at your essence. And philosophically, we believe this essence is radiant beyond words, this like magical stuff that you're made out of. And often it's hard to remember that because you can't just be this magical being like floating through your day. For lack of a better description, you have shit to do, you know? And you get caught up in your everyday daily existence. So this is really designed to kind of shed some of those distractions and really hone in on the essence, the core, the muscles that support your posture, the muscles that are essential to you moving through the world. So come into constructive rest, feet wide, knees can drop in toward one another, just kind of hang loosely and be comfortable. Place one hand on your belly and the other hand right on top of it. So we're just touching the essence, the core spot. Take a big breath in. Feel your belly expand into your hands and a full breath out and really contract your belly. Inhale, breathe, and feel the length. Feel the ribs move away from the pelvis. Keep that space as you exhale. So as you exhale, you're trying to keep the decompression of the spine. Inhale, expand the belly into your hands. Feel the length through pelvis, from pelvis to ribs. And as you exhale, try to move the back of the ribs to the floor. Yes. And even Tina just moved a little bit like an inchworm because it gave her more space. That's exactly what we're looking for. So as you inhale, big expansion into the belly. As you exhale, the belly contracts back, the back of the ribs press into the floor, and there's length and space created. So we're working the core to decompress the spine, to create that long, tall posture. And we're going to keep trying to channel the breath in this way. Big inhale into the belly, complete and total exhale where you contract all the muscles in like a corset, and it lifts the waist and moves the waist back. Keep your Ujjayi breath very steady. Good. Heel toe your feet together. And hover your feet off the floor so your shins are parallel with the floor. Bring your hands to the fronts of your thighs. And you're going to create a little push-pull dynamic. So press your hands forward into your thighs. Push your thighs toward your hands, and immediately you should feel your belly engage. Now, often you'll feel your belly engage and the rectus abdominis muscles kind of pop up instead of draw back. So today, what I want you to work on is drawing the waist back, moving the back of the ribs back, and finding that length through the low back and the lower part of the thoracic. Take one more inhale, and that should be enough. Like you should feel it working. Exhale, lower your feet down. We're going to take like the beginning of Garudasana arms, eagle arms. So right arm on top of left, like you're hugging yourself. Just wiggle your fingertips back toward your inner shoulder blades. Great. And then float your feet up off the floor again. With an inhale, lower your feet toward the floor. Knees stay bent. As you exhale, pull the knees back in. Inhale, the belly expands. Exhale, belly back and ribs back. Now we're going to add the upper body. Inhale, float the feet down. Exhale, head and shoulders and knees pull back in. Two more like that. Inhale, feet go down, head rest back. Exhale, pull everything in. One more. Inhale and exhale. Beautiful. Rest your head and shoulders back, lower your feet down. Uncross your arms, be a big letter T in your upper body, and then cross left arm on top. Nuzzle, 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 hug, hug, hug. Take one big breath in into your belly. Exhale, make contact with the back of the ribs to the floor. Good. Float the legs up. We'll do one, just the legs. Inhale, legs down, not straight legs. The knees stay bent. Exhale, pull the knees in. Now we'll do 4 more upper and lower body. Inhale, feet float. Exhale, head and shoulders lift into the knees. Inhale, head rest back, feet come toward the floor. Exhale, pull everything in. Inhale, feet hover, head rests. Exhale, hug in. Inhale, feet hover, head rests back. Exhale, hug in. Inhale and rest everything down. Do you feel that? Yeah. So it's really interesting how you can feel it in a different way than just lying on the ground and doing sit-ups. So we can unpack that a little bit more on our Facebook page and maybe in some emails. But this is a really great tool and very important to integrate into the practice. So cross your right ankle over your left thigh. The one thing that can happen with core work like that is you can start to feel it in your hip flexor. So take eye of the needle to release it. Press the inner right thigh forward. And remember that I'm not just asking you to do sit-ups. That is the stuff that drives me absolutely bananas when yoga is just like a workout. It's really important for us to remember that this work is so much deeper than that that's not what it's about. It's the way into the deeper work. Keep your legs crossed like this. Lower your left foot down toward the left edge of the mat, and you're gonna let both legs just drop over to the right. Stretch the arms up, grab the left wrist, nice counter stretch for that core work. However, you're gonna bring some of it in here. So this is like a windshield wiper twist with the two add-ons of the leg and the arm. Can you move your waist back toward the floor? And if you can't feel the left rib cage moving toward the floor, just separate your feet, so let your right foot slide off the left so there's less momentum toward the right side of your mat. So you can start to feel the left ribs moving, gravitating toward the floor. They're never gonna touch the floor, but you can feel how your waist is moving back and there's that belly activation even here, which actually intensifies the stretch. Come back through center. Eye of the needle first, left ankle over right thigh. Breathe as deeply as you can. And it's a complicated problem. Like, how do we engage the belly and create deep contraction while staying expansive, right? Because you don't want to engage your belly and then be standing like this. It's like we're engaging the belly to have really good posture, to stand strong in our bodies and who we are. Release the right foot to the right edge of the mat. Let your knees drop to the left. Arms over your head, grab your right wrist. Scoop the buttocks underneath you so the buttock flesh moves more toward the back of the right knee. And there's a huge space between the right side of your waist and the floor. That's fine. I just want you to bring your attention to activating the waist toward the floor. And you're gonna feel how it feels like you're leaning into the stretch a little bit more, and that's what we want. Inhale back to your back. Hug your knees into your chest. Roll to your side or rock front to back on your spine and come to sit for a moment. Bring your palms together in front of your heart. We're gonna chant the sound of Om one time. If you're not comfortable chanting, don't worry about it, you don't have to. Take a deep breath in and a full breath out. Inhale. Om. Blink your eyes open and release your hands. Downward facing dog. So if your knees are sensitive on the ground, you might want to bring a blanket or a towel into action. You can always put it underneath your back knee. Inhale, lift your right leg up. And exhale your right foot towards your right thumb tip. Lower your back knee to the ground for Anjane Asana, except I'm going to have you interlace your hands over your head and really reach up. Wiggle, wiggle side to side. And let's call this rope climb, like you're climbing up a rope. Feel the sides of the waist lengthen. Keep the length in the sides of the waist as you come back to the middle. Knit the front ribs in. Inhale into your belly. Exhale, draw your belly in and up and lift through the back of the ribs. Take one more big breath in. One more big breath out. Good. Lower your hands to the floor. Simply find a higher lunge where your back knee lifts off the floor. Try to keep this right ankle in the right thigh as you inhale. Exhale, straighten your right leg. If you don't have blocks, you need blocks, grab them, you have them, fantastic. If you don't have them, you'll just bend your right knee slightly and you won't go to an all the way straight leg. Keep drawing your outer right hip back. We're gonna take Ardha Parsvottanasana. So inhale, lift and lengthen through the spine. Keep that length as you engage your belly and forward fold. 2 more times. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Engage the belly as you forward fold. Last one. Inhale, lift, lengthen. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Bend the right knee slightly and step the left foot forward to meet the right for Uttanasana. And let's keep the feet sit bone distance apart just to warm up the legs. Inhale, half lift and lengthen. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale and rise to stand to Urdhva Hastasana, but interlace your hands above your head. And you can keep all the fingers interlaced like Tina's doing, or as she did before, keeping your index finger pointing up, which gives you a little direction. Rope climb. Side, side, stretch, stretch, stretch. Feel the length through both sides. And then keep the length as you inhale into your belly. Exhale and knit the front ribs in. Expand through the back of the waist as you lift up more. Take one more inhale. Exhale, forward fold over your legs. Lengthen, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, lift the left leg up, second side. Exhale, the left foot to the left thumb, back knee down. You can always pad up the back knee if you need to. Interlace your hands again for rope climb. Now let's give it a little more direction. Look toward your belly as you rope climb up, left, right. And then you'll settle in the middle where both sides of the waist are lifting and lengthening. Move the front ribs toward the back body. Really inflate through the back of the waist. So there's this major decompression in the low back. As you see, this pose starts to turn into a little bit of a back bend. Take another inhale. Exhale, hands to the floor. Lift your back knee up. Take a deep breath in. Exhale and straighten your left leg. Remember, you're bending your knee if you don't have blocks, or you're using your blocks and you're working towards straight. Inhale, half lift and lengthen. Now keep the length of the spine as you fold to whatever degree you can, and it might be 1 inch from the halfway place. Inhale, half lift and lengthen. You might even just hold here, or exhale and fold over your front leg. One more time, inhale, half lift and lengthen. Exhale and forward fold. Good. Inhale, lift, lengthen, bend the left knee. Exhale and step the right foot forward, sit bone distance, Uttanasana. Inhale, half lift, lengthen. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale and rise to stand, arms up. Again, interlace hands, rope climb right side, rope climb left side, and then come to neutral and lift through both sides of the waist. Take a big breath in. Exhale, forward fold over your legs. Heading into Surya A. Inhale, half lift, lengthen. Exhale, step back to plank. Take a full breath in and inflate, create space. Exhale, draw the belly in and up as you lower forward and down chaturanga. Inhale into your back bend. Stretch the whole front body, but keep lifting the back ribs. Exhale, back to down dog. We're gonna move through this pretty quickly. Take a deep breath in. Bottom of the exhale, right away, step or hop, feet to hands. Lengthen on the inhale, forward fold on your exhale. Inhale, rise all the way up. Reach. Exhale, forward fold over your legs. Inhale, half lift, lengthen. Step back to plank. Keep the waist lifted purposefully as you lower forward and down chaturanga. Inhale into your back bend, back to downward facing for a full breath in, full breath out. We'll take one more inhale. Bottom of the exhale, step or hop, feet to hands. Lengthen and forward fold. Inhale, rise all the way up, and you're gonna fold right back in as you exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale, half lift, Ardha. Exhale, step or hop back. Hopping back, remember you hop to chaturanga. Inhale into your back bend and back to downward facing dog. 3 breaths in and out, and play with the breath here. Especially if you're someone who's super bendy in your low back, you wanna keep knitting the ribs in. That was a nice adjustment, Tina. Can you inflate your waist more? And if you can't, bend your knees a little bit so you can access a bit more mobility in your low back so that you can suction the belly back. Take one more full inhale and a full exhale. Let's shift forward to plank. I want to do one more thing here. Lower all the way down onto your belly, and then you're going to want to shift back so that your forearms have enough space on your mat for Sphinx pose. And I think we have done these before. They're called Sphinx roll-ups, like fruit roll-ups, but not nearly as sweet, I don't think. So the deal is we're trying to articulate all the muscles that are required for what I'm asking you to do in your belly. We'll move slowly. So take a big breath in here. Your feet are pointed. Exhale, look back toward your ribs and lift the lower ribs toward the back body. Then consciously lift the belly button in and up. Then lift the front hip points. Try to keep the lower part of your pelvis on the floor. That'll make you crazy. Now lift the whole pelvis up. Lift the thighs and maybe lift the knees. And that should really get it. Now you can see Tina's pelvis is in line with her shoulders. Don't lift your hips too high. If you don't feel this, probably your hips are too high. Lower your knees. Now slowly lower your thighs first, then lower your pubic bone, then the front hips, then the belly stretches forward, and then the ribs stretch forward. Okay, 2 more. Inhale, exhale, ribs knit in, belly lifts, front hips lift, pubic bone, thighs, knees, and lower knees, thighs, really resist, pubic bone, resist the front hips, then they lower, resist the belly, then it lowers, resist the ribs. Now the breath is gonna be, I've tried to cue the breath before here. You know, it's really, you take the breath as it comes to you. Don't make it an inhale or an exhale thing on the way up or down. It usually takes 4 breaths to get through the whole thing. Inhale here. The exhale will start it as you knit the ribs in, belly, front hips. Probably you're inhaling at this point, pubic bone, thighs, knees. The exhale probably starts, and then it's knees, thighs, pubic bone, front hips, beautiful. Belly, ribs, open up into a nice stretchy Sphinx. Good. And then lower all the way back down. Press onto your hands and knees to stretch back to down dog. And walk your hands back to your feet. We'll do this. This is fine to do at the back of the mat, and Tina and I are just going to kind of face each other and do it together. Bend your knees and come all the way up to stand. Release your arms. So this is a little Uddiyana Bandha work, which is breath work that is specifically targeted to activating these muscles, creating like a lock-like action in the more subtle energetic body of your belly. So feet nice and wide so you can feel it. And you know when you're, if you're scared, you go, and like your ribs expand and flare out. So do that one time just so you can feel what that action is. It's like a quick inhale. I'm gonna ask you to do that. We'll call it like the surprised inhale, which I'm not gonna let you take in breath, but you're gonna do that same muscular action in a moment. So it's like you're inhaling, but you're not inhaling. You're just expanding your ribs. So inhale for real, stretch your arms up. Exhale all your breath out through your mouth. Bend your knees and rest your hands on your thighs. Push, push, push all the breath out. Now, surprise inhale. You'll feel your belly vacuum seal. If you don't, draw your belly back more. Release the belly. Take a big breath in, regular inhale, and a big breath out. Inhale all the way up. Exhale, hands to the heart. Again, inhale, real inhale. Exhale through the mouth. Push it all out. Fake inhale. Release the belly. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, come all the way up to stand. This takes a lot of practice. Hands to the heart. This is just an intro to it. Inhale, stretch up. Last one. Exhale, all the breath out. Fake inhale. Release the lock. Yeah. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, come all the way up. Exhale, hands to the heart. Okay, so now we're gonna take all this work we've done, and we're gonna do a handstand. Now Tina and I are gonna do a variation that might be pretty challenging to do by yourself at home, but I wanna introduce it because it's a really informative way to do it. So if you have a friend who could help you, or you might even be able to stick it in this way against the wall. So the difference is your fingertips are flush against the wall. It's a variation. It is not the way you should always do handstand. It's a variation to get us into our belly more. So fingertips flush against the wall, Tina, and she can probably just stick it without my help, but I'm gonna help her so I can show you guys how to help with a friend if you have a friend who could help you. So you're certainly gonna be looking toward the center of your room. The back of your head will be pushing into the wall. Lift one leg up and go ahead and kick up. Good. And then what I do as her spotter, I'm gonna come to the center of her thighs and I just press the center of the thighs toward the wall. And then what she's doing is moving her waist back and lessening that curve in the low back. So thighs press to the wall, that's what your friend does, the waist moves back, and then I'm gonna step away, she's gonna come down, that was a long hold, take a second. It really, when we practice against the wall, we throw ourselves into a pretty big back bend when we're doing a regular handstand. So this is the counter to that, to really find your core, to find that strength. Okay, so you could hit pause now, you could try that again, you could try a regular handstand one time, couple inches away from the wall, play with that if you have time to do it. Otherwise, come into downward facing dog. And take a nice big breath in, full breath out. Pigeon with the right knee forward. Take about 5 breaths to fold forward over your front leg. And slowly come upright in your pigeon, as upright as you can. And what I want you to watch out for is the right hip collapsing on the right thigh. Squeeze your legs together, root your tail down, and lift your belly up. Remember that belly breath and moving your ribs back as you exhale, moving them back. That's it, Tina, and lifting them up. If you can from here, I'd like you to reach back with your left hand to grab your left foot for a thigh stretch. Left hand, left foot. Keep inflating your waist because this is a pretty big back bend. So we can use the core to mitigate, again, that compression that can happen in the low back like we just talked about, that can happen when we kick to the wall in handstand. One more inhale. Exhale back to downward facing dog and let's switch sides. If you need a counter stretch of some sort, take it. Left knee forward, pigeon. Settle in. It's not the longest hold, but try to allow yourself to soften. Slowly come up onto your hands, watching out, making sure you're lifting the left hip point. Reach back with your right hand, try to grab your right foot. If you can't grab your right foot, that's okay. Just reach back with your right hand. You can even try kicking your right heel to your butt. Most likely, if you can't reach back and grab the foot, you're getting a pretty good thigh stretch in the front of the right thigh anyway, which is why we're doing this. Take one more big breath in. Exhale to release the right foot, downward facing dog. Inhale to plank and lower all the way down onto your belly. And again, if you're sensitive, like you used a blanket or towel over your knees, you could put it underneath your pelvis here if you feel sensitivity there. Please bend your knees and reach back to grab your ankles or the tops of your foot for Dhanurasana. So before we lift up, take a big breath in, feel your belly expand into the floor, and as you exhale, lengthen your tailbone, lift the ribs, and lift up into the pose. The more you're kicking your feet into your hands, the more I know that you're working your tailbone, which is the start of moving your waist back and all that core breath work we worked on. Take one more very big breath in and release it back down. Bring your hands next to your chest, press back to a child's pose. And slowly walk your hands back to your knees. We're gonna come to sit in either Sukhasana or Agni Stambhasana. So we'll cross the right ankle on top of the left knee or the right shin in front of the left knee. Make any adjustments of inner spiral in the thighs that you need and forward fold over your legs. Again, not the longest hold, but give yourself over to the posture. Make sure you're only folding to the degree that you can soften here. Inhale to come back up. Switch the cross, so it's either left shin directly in front of right or it's left ankle on top of right knee. And forward fold over your legs. It's easier to feel the back body connection when we're in a pose like this, which is a forward bend. So use it. Inhale into your belly. Exhale, draw your belly in and lift the back ribs. And for some of you, you're going to feel this like dramatic extension forward. Take one more breath. Inhale and come back up. Uncross your legs and let's come lying down onto the back. Eye of the needle as we did before. Right ankle over left thigh and grab. Let's grab behind the thigh because we're going to do a different variation here. Inhale and stretch the left leg straight. Really push up through your heels so you get a hamstring and calf stretch. Exhale, bend the knee. Inhale and straighten. Exhale and bend. Inhale and exhale. Lower your left foot to the left edge of the mat. That same kind of windshield wipery twist. So legs to the right, left foot comes to the left edge. Grab the left wrist with the right hand and work the breath again. Inhaling into the belly, exhaling, decompressing the low back by moving the left ribs back. Inhale. That feels good, doesn't it? Yeah. Exhale. One more. And exhale. Come back through the middle. Uncross, recross the other way. Eye of the needle, left ankle, right thigh. Yeah, grabbing behind the thigh, exactly. Inhale, stretch the right leg straight. Exhale, bend. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend. Last one, straighten and bend. Lower the right foot to the right edge. Let the legs fall to the left, arms up, grab the wrist, and you're working that inhale to the belly, exhale, moving the back ribs toward the floor. Inhale and exhale. One more. And exhale. Inhale onto your back, uncross legs, hug knees into your chest. Take a deep breath in. Release your legs for a proper Shavasana. Feet nice and wide, arms even nice and wide apart, and let yourself settle completely. I'm going to read just a brief quote from The Art of Joyful Living by Swami Rama, one of the best books about yoga philosophy, but it speaks to this theme of connecting to the core of who you are. When people try to give you their anger or negative feedback, why do you accept it? If someone says you're bad, why do you accept that? You accept it because you don't have self-confidence. You don't accept yourself. You don't know deep inside that you are good. And because you don't know yourself, you have formed the habit of depending on the judgment of others. But in your heart of hearts, you should never accept other people's suggestions. Place one hand on your belly and the other hand directly on top of it and take a nice deep breath. And I feel like in this world of Instagramming and scrolling through other people's lives, it is good to remember that the suggestions, like you can choose your filter. You can choose what to take in and what to leave behind. And hopefully some of this practice teaches us what at your core matters. What do you want to let into the Instagram feed? Who do you want to follow that is sending you the message that reinforces the essence of who you are? And who do we not listen to? Who do we tune out that isn't giving us the right message? Bend your knees, roll to your side, make your way to a comfortable seated position. Bring your palms together in front of your heart. Take a deep breath in. Bow your head to your heart. Namaste.